Okay, today we're reviewing the newest collection from Girlcult. I still don't know how this collection is called in English, so I'm gonna put the name on the screen. But this is their newest collection, and they're inspired by this traditional Chinese medical book that almost every Chinese person knows. This has like several hundreds of years of history, or maybe even more than that. And because this collection is so deeply rooted for like herbs or like, you know, Chinese traditional Chinese medicine ingredients, so it's largely heavily green themed as you can tell. And I did bought everything from this collection. They gifted this box. It's like the whole set. They have this box and this bracelet with it, and also this little book and a herb pouch that I don't know where it is. And the actual product, we have two face palette. One is cream and one is powder. And we have two eyeshadow palettes. One has like matte and the other one are all like multi-chrome shifty foily type of shades. And we have two lip formulas. One is a glossy formula with 4 shades and the other is a new matte formula with 7 new shades. So yeah, this is a complete set. So if you're interested in this new collection, just keep watching. Let's put on their bracelet, which I think is actually very well designed and very cute, because there's no like visible logo on it at all. So you can just wear this as a normal accessory. Pretty nice, right? I like this. And they also give a little book. This is the inspiration. This is a traditional medicine book in the Chinese history. So if you do learn Chinese history, this is definitely a book that you are gonna know. I think most people in China, at least grew up in China, know this book. I don't know if we still follow this, you know, with the Chinese medicine, because this is like far in the back in the history. But this was a book wrote by one doctor back in the history. He tasted a lot of the, you know, the Chinese medicine ingredient, the herbs, and he decided what type of herb is for what, you know, is to treat what type of thing. Because it's just, you know, tasting and, you know, testing with his own body, I don't think it's that accurate if we think with the current knowledge. But at the same time, in that time and period, this is like, it was never existed before. So that's why it becomes so like such a big thing. Things like this just didn't existed before this. That's the inspiration. I really appreciate this brand to always bring the Chinese culture to, you know, everybody's eyes. So yeah, I love this little touch that they actually put the actual book in this collection, and it smells pretty good. Now let's start with, I'm thinking maybe I should start with the face palette, because there's a cream face product. A messy swatch, but I think you get the idea. And you can see this glossy part is the balm highlighting here. Okay, because we have this balm highlight thing, I think we should put this the center of my face as a highlight. Okay, let's use a brush to apply it. I feel like use finger would be nice as well, but this is a very soft cream. This cream and this cream blush are different formulations, and they also previously had like a same shade of a highlighting like cream from the Peach Conference collection. I'm gonna show you later. That formulation is different from this one as well. That one is way firmer, and I actually didn't really like that formulation for highlighting balm. So let's try this. Oh, it looks like it's very, very pigmented. And can you tell how creamy it is? It almost feels like it's a liquid. And it is very, very easy to blend, right? I think it brightens that area immediately and it doesn't look heavy, can you tell? I don't think it looks heavy. It just highlights it and doesn't make the base into a weird color, if you know what I mean. Like sometimes some of those highlighting concealer or whatever will make your base into a weird, like maybe purple or like bluish color. But this one, I feel like it just melts into the rest of the base and it doesn't look like too weird. And just a little bit really goes a long way, so don't apply too much. I think brush is the move. For how soft this formulation is, your finger could easily apply too much. Nice. I like this. I like this way more than the one they had previously. Let me show you that. From the Peach Conference collection, the shade 24. And I think you can tell they are the same shade, right? But this one is a very hard formulation and can you tell it's like heavier than the other one. And I don't really like this one. Maybe because I use this in the cold weather, so the balm is harder, but this one is just way creamier. Let's just use all of it. Let's do a contour with this thing. This is a different formulation than all of the other one as well. This is more of a putty type of formulation. Like, you know, the ColourPop, like Super Shock blush type of thing. Nice, nice. I think this color is a correct color for contouring, at least for my skin tone. I think the only thing this collection like could improve is their shade range. I don't know what to say, like C Beauty is C Beauty, what do you expect? I rarely see C Beauty have that much of inclusivity. Do we try to use this as a contour on the rest of my face? Because I normally don't do that. I'm afraid of like ruining the rest of the makeup. I just do contour on my nose and that's it. Let me use this darker color first on the outer part of my face. Oh, it's it's more pigmented than I thought. So let's use a sponge. Because I still want to layer a powder blush. You know, we have another powder face palette to try, so I don't want to make the blush super strong. Blending out with the sponge, it looks pretty natural. And let's layer the other shade at the center of my cheeks. Less strong of a pigmentation, but still I love this color. It's a great color. For this side, maybe let's try to apply with the brush. Let's use this brush. I feel like I prefer the finger and sponge combination. What do you think? I feel like the finger side just looked a little better, lighter shade. Well, it was nice, but I still prefer this side. And this spot, it doesn't want the product to stick on it. Okay, this palette was nice. And we also have a clear balm highlight. It looks like it's very colorful, but it's just clear balm. There's no color to it at all. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be covered by the powder we're gonna apply later, but let's just do this. A nice balm highlight, and it doesn't feel sticky. That's the most important thing. Nice. I pretty much love this whole palette. Nice product. Okay, I applied some powder, so you can see the glowiness is pretty much covered, but I think it still looks pretty nice. And I think you can still see the contour. Let's move on to the next two eyes. I do have another face palette, but I think I want to put that aside for a second. Let's use these super beautiful eyeshadow quads. One of them is still the green theme, but it's more, you know, easy to use. It has two mattes, and the other are all these like super foiled or like shifty type of colors. Okay, so this is the more natural palette. This is the shade 60. See how pretty is this, right? I'm so excited for this, but the thing is I still don't know how to how to test these two. Like ideally I could just, you know, one for half of my face, but this palette, how do you use it on its own? So I think I might still need to just use this palette, the mattes in this palette for both eyes. This color all over the eyes first. Very pigmented. I didn't think this light, like this light of a shade is gonna be this dark on the eyes. I expect it to be like way lighter of a shade, so basically just all over the eyes as a base, but now I'm not sure. The next shade is a charcoal gray green type of color. It's like a very nuanced color. And I'm still thinking where should I, like, you know, place this color. Careful with it. It's pretty nice, right? It's pretty nice. The other eye, and there's quite a bit of kickoff. Use an even smaller, denser brush for the lower lash line. I think I want to mimic the top to apply the lighter shade first. I think I'm gonna use this lighter shade a lot on the daily basis. It's such a great cool-toned brown, and it's actually not that easy to find on the market. I feel like this darker shade could be a little bit patchy on some area, but I feel like it's just the way this type of color is gonna look on your eye. It's very hard to make this type of color very smooth and easy to blend. Okay, now it's the real deal. The glitters. I'm thinking to apply this glitter on the outer part of the center eyelid pretty strong. And there's a little bit of fallout applying with the finger, but not too much. I see like a few particles on my lower lash line, but not that much. And this color is surprisingly wearable. So now this shade. Whoa, this shade is way more strong. Be careful with this one. And this one also has more fallout. Yeah, it's nice too. But I surprisingly like the darker shade better. Like I thought I was definitely gonna love this lighter shade better. Great shade, and I want to apply that darker shade on my lower lash line as well. It's a very pretty shade. Love it. But the problem is this palette. It's all beautiful. I want to try all of them. The thing is I don't really have big eyelid space, so the space we are working with is very limited. Let's try this color on the outer part. Oh, immediately this is a different formula than the one we tried on the other eyes. I think this is, it's hard to explain. You know those Dior Chrome indie brand type of colors that it has this foiled finish and it's like a very creamy, almost like a cream? It's that type of feel. I can't explain this, but I love it. It's not a chunky glitter at all. It's very smooth. Like I didn't even put my finger again in the product. This is just was left over after applied on my eyes. Like this is really beautiful. If you are someone that really loves to do like fun makeup, I think this is definitely a shade you're gonna like. This shade on the inner part to the previous one. Pretty. Really, really pretty. This is totally a different formulation than this side. This side is like the dry glitter and foil type thing, and this side is like the creamy, kind of wet formulation. And I think you can tell the difference on the camera even. Okay, now I'm thinking to apply this shade on the center. Oh, you see that? It blends these two colors together pretty well. Okay, now let's put this shade. This shade looks like a mermaid's tail. And let's put this one on my lower lash line. Probably because of the formulation, brush is not picking up that much. Let's use my pinky to apply this. Your finger is the move. Yeah, I think instantly it has more color, so. And to my surprise, this side, it's a cream formula, like I said, but it has more fallout. That's not a big problem. To be honest, I don't know how often I'm gonna use this palette, but I love it. Would definitely use this one on a daily basis though. Hey, we are done with the eyes. What do you think? I really like these two palettes, but like I said, I think I might like the natural one more. And normally I would use a like brown eyeliner, but today I thought because the makeup is very strong, I should use a black one. Let's move forward to the next product, which is the powder face palette. And here is the Swatch. This blush, if you can tell, it's actually an ombre effect. It's a nude color to like more of a pinky rosy color. It's very similar. This is the two mixed, and this is the pinkier side, and this is the more like neutral side. You can see they're all like basically the similar color. Contour shade first, maybe. This is a very loosely pressed powder, so be careful. Oh, I even evened it out on the back of my hand, and it's still very pigmented. So be careful with this formula. Well, this is gonna look ridiculous. I probably prefer the cream ones because I don't think a contour color should be this pigmented. Let's use the foundation puff. Okay, I think this way it at least looked a little bit more normal. Not a fan of a super pigmented contour color. Should I try to use this on my face? Because now all of the other products is already on my face. I think it's okay to try a little bit. Just a tiny little bit, okay? The tiniest little bit. It is really pigmented. Even that tiny little bit of powder, like I already using a brush that's, you know, very fluffy and like has very loose hairs, and I also even it out on my wrist, and it's still showing pigmentation. Like I don't know why this random little contour color has this much of a pigmentation. Let's use a small stippling brush to apply this highlight. Oh, it's very, see that? Loosely pressed, almost emphasizing the like halo-ness on my eyes. Like I think this part of my face is like a pretty smooth and even part, but I almost feel like it's creating a little dent for me. That's weird. Not sure if I'm a fan of this. I prefer the highlight in this palette. You know, the palette looks like this. This is the shade 01. This highlight is great, and I prefer the contour in this palette as well. It's like more of a sheer, easy to use powder. Maybe I should just figure out how to use this palette, but for now, not the biggest fan. But let's try the blush to layer this blush, I'm just gonna blend both of the shade. I feel like it's a little bit patchy. Not sure why, and I'm definitely not applying too much. I'm like evening it out on my wrist. I think this palette is just too pigmented. Like, why suddenly make it so pigmented? I want to take a big powder brush and just blend all of this. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this powder palette. But let's try the highlight, which I'm now a little bit scared because it has like these little particles. It's not like a very smooth highlight. Yeah, it's like applying glitter on your face. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. I'm not even bothered to apply this on both of my face, no. I think what I'm gonna do is I can try to apply this on the inner corner. It's almost like a glitter eyeshadow, that's what it is. But I feel like if you're gonna put it in a face palette, it should be suitable for the face. So now is what's the most exciting 11 of the new lip products. Which one do we do first? Because I think we have two formulas. These are from L07 to L10. Orange type of like nudie shade. I think it's probably barely a nude. It's more of a like burnt orange shade. L08, a pinkish shade. 09. I think this looks like more of a reddish nude. And we have 10. You know, the weird color in this collection. It's a like brown with a green shift, like similar to the eyeshadow we have today. 07. It's a very glossy finish, like almost like a gloss in a stick. I like this formula and this shade. It's just not for today's makeup, right? Like it clashes with the eyeshadow too much. And apparently this is no transfer formulation. Not that the glossiness doesn't transfer, but they said this has film firmer in it, so when you drink or eat, only the glossy layer will come off and the color stays. That's their statement. We don't have a glass here, so I think we're just gonna have to try it with this bottle. Yeah, I guess, like, can you see the lip mark here? Like, it has no color, it's just the clear top layer. Yeah, on my hand as well, like, see that glossiness? And the color is still here, and you don't have to wait for the film firmer to work. Like, as you apply it, it's like already working type of thing. But it's easy to wipe off if you just use a tissue paper. And 08. This one is nice too, but again, not for today's makeup. I feel like today's makeup need almost no color, lip color, or like very nude, very neutral to cool type of undertone. These are all clashing. But yeah, this finish and this color is nice. I guess like a little chunk on the center came off, but no color. 09. I think this is looks on the lips, it looks like the previous two combined together. I think for a daily basis, this could be a great. I'm not gonna like test the no transfer test for every single one of these. I'm pretty sure they're just gonna work the same. Okay, now the weirdest one. I think almost feel like this one would work with this eye better. Oh, it is foiled. Like, can you tell? It's a brown base with a blue foil. I look like I could play a character, like, you know, the villain character in some of those like traditional Chinese fantasy dramas. Like especially a fairy, a snake fairy type of thing. But yeah, I feel like this color match with this eye way better. What do you think? And I almost feel like we need to test this one. Is this one transfer proof? Let's find a place that I didn't kiss. Well, I guess on bottle it still works. Well, a little bit, I guess. Like you can see a little bit, but not much. I wouldn't say this is a wearable shade, of course, but I almost feel like for the type of shade it is, it's not that unwearable. Yeah, I like this. I'm not sure like how often I'm gonna use this shade, of course, but yeah, it's a nice shade. Okay, to save you some time, I already swatched all of the shade of the matte formula. It is S01 to 07 from top to bottom. So now let's try these on my lips. From S01. This is a nude shade. Okay, it's very creamy, very smooth. Like I think you can barely see my lip line. I like this color, but I feel like it's still a little bit too warm for today's makeup. Same with the previous one. It should be transfer proof. Let's test this. Like you can see a little bit kind of transfer, but it's not color transfer. Like it should be the same with the glossy one. So the true test on the back of my hand. Well, yeah, I guess like just a tiny little bit came off. Like, see that? Not that much. Okay, S02 should be more of a warmer nude. Yeah, like on the orangey side, but not orange. And I'm trying to pat first because I don't want it to crumble. The thin layer looks like this. Again, I like this color, but it's definitely not for today's makeup. And that is also saying this is a color that's pretty hard to pair with any type of lip products. If I'm just wearing this on a daily basis, I'm just gonna wear something that has like very light color and like more of a glossy formula. So almost just like a clear lip gloss, but with like a hint of like cool tone nude type of shade, you know? So these like super solid colors, I feel like as long as it's not, you know, the weird like green brown type of color, it's kind of just gonna clash with the eye makeup. And I always found that to be the case with a lot of green lip like eyeshadows. It's just kind of hard to pair with like other colors. You have to like find a specific color to pair with them. So I think that's also something that you have to take into consideration, because I found that definitely affects how often you use a product. It's like a piece of cloth in your closet. If it's very hard to pair with other colors, you are naturally just gonna wear that less, right? So if you are like me, you have a hard time to pair colors with green eyeshadows, maybe think twice, you know, before you buy this. And despite it to be like not transferring the color, it's not hard to take off. I'm just using a piece of tissue paper to wipe it off. 03 should be a pinky shade. And this shade is actually pretty viral on Rednote. Been see people using this like a lot in a lot of videos. This pinky nude actually pairs better with this makeup, probably because it ties with the blush. And I don't know if you can tell, it has a little bit very fine glitter that you almost don't see, right? You almost can't tell. So it's not like those very chunky glitters. It almost gives you a tiny little bit of like satiny sheen to it. So it doesn't look like totally matte. I found Girlcult does this a lot with their matte formula. They put very fine glitter in some of the formula to give it a little bit of this like a little bit definition, I think. And I absolutely love this shade. And I understand why people right now to love this shade. I love it too. Yeah, I think this color is the best color so far, other than the green, that pairs well with this makeup. Okay, 04 is a more reddish nude, a little bit similar to the previous one, but on the like reddish side. This one doesn't look that bad against this makeup either, even though I prefer the previous one. I mean, the application is like absolutely atrocious, but I like this shade. I think this shade is like gonna be very wearable for a lot of type of makeup because it's red, but it's like neutral. It's not too warm, not orangey or anything. 05, which is this one. This one is more of a orangey type of brown shade. Now see the crumble, like this is a chunk of the product, but it's not like it crumbles and you can't blend it. You can absolutely still blend it. This shade is pretty nice too, but again and again, not for this eye makeup. I think this is more of a like autumn winter type of shade. Like I haven't worn a shade like this in a long time actually, because sadly recent years I'm not into orangey shade at all, which before that orange shades are all I wear. So I don't know why, like it just, the preference just changed overnight, but this is not my type of shade, but I still think this shade looks pretty nice. 06, which is purpley brown shade, and can you see the little crumb on the edge of this lipstick? Why is this so uneven? Blending with the finger, it is better, but I still feel like it's a little bit like uneven, right? And layering it seems not working, but I think the color is pretty nice. It's just this unevenness it's not like super bad or anything, it's just a little bit of the unevenness. And I almost feel like this shade pairs with this look pretty well as well. Probably because it blends with my shirt. Not the shade that I normally would wear, especially because it's like kind of uneven. If you apply a thin layer, you have to layer it to make it like more even. Okay, the last color, which is the weird green color. Let's see how that one is gonna look. Oh, this one has glitter as well. That very fun glitter. I do think this color is a good match for this makeup though, but I don't think this is a color that I would ever wear to outside. Can you blend this color with the other ones? You know, like make the other ones in a different color? I'm thinking of that. But I do think this is a great shade, and you can even tell the little glitter on my lips. And this one is almost transfer proof, but like for a shade that's this dark, a little bit transfer like this I think is acceptable. And it's even. It's not like the last one, it looks a little bit uneven. This applies pretty evenly. Should I just leave this one on? Because this is the most like, you know, fitting to this whole makeup type of shade, I think. So yeah, that's everything. Let's do a little bit roundup. I think my opinion is pretty obvious in this video, but still, let's do a roundup. Face palette, I think you already can tell from the like application footages. I absolutely love this palette. Every single one works super well. This one, super creamy, super easy to blend, and it doesn't look weird. And this one is just a clear balm, and it makes your face glossy and it's not sticky. And I think that's just like what you can ask for a clear balm. And to blush, blends nicely with the finger, and this one is not like too pigmented and it blends well. So this is definitely a favorite in today's video. And also these palettes, again, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna use this palette that often, but these shades are like no doubt very, very beautiful. But I do love this shade, like, which is what I am wearing on this eye, I think. Yeah, and I think if I would just use less of this glitter, it would be looking actually kind natural, like fitting for like daily basis type of makeup. And I love the formula. The matte blends pretty well. This one is a little bit patchy, but for like a green brown, cool toned green brown shade like this, a little bit patchiness for me is acceptable. And I love this glitter. It pairs well with the other colors. This one is a little bit chunky, but again, I think it's acceptable. I love these palettes. Again, like, I think I'm pretty obvious on this palette as well. I like none of the shades in this palette. This one too pigmented, and probably because it's too pigmented, I feel like it's hard to blend. And this one, again, too pigmented and for me hard to blend. This one, I don't know what it even does. Like, I have used the highlighting palette in this palette, so it's not like I don't know how to use their formulation, but this one I just don't know what it actually does. And this one is too glittery to put into a face palette, so it's not like this one is bad, it's just I don't understand it. Why you put such a glittery shade in such a matte face palette. And I even feel like it's too glittery to use for an inner corner highlight. Because if you want this type of glittery eyeshadow to work on the inner corner, it has to be like more of a dense palette, dense like formula, you know what I mean? Like, because it's gonna create this dot type of effect. It's like a normal glittery eyeshadow, so it's like a looser glitter effect, which looks kind of weird in the inner corner. So where do we even put this? Like on the cheeks, it's just like glitter particles. So I don't understand this palette. Like, I don't know. I think I could definitely do without this palette for now. I'm gonna try it more, but for now I'm not a big fan of it. And I think what we are left with are just the lippies, right? The glossy ones, I think I have, you know, already showed you how transfer proof it is, and you don't have to wait for the film former to work, which I think is a big plus. Up until now, a lot of brands, when they claim the glossy lip is a, you know, transfer proof type of thing, only the gloss top layer is gonna come off type of thing, usually you have to wait, and they're gonna tell you, oh, don't rub your lips for X amount of time or you're gonna mess with their formula. But this one has like no fuss like that. You just apply it, you can like press your lip together, you're not gonna mess with the formulation. I think it's just very, very easy to use, and I like the shades as well, so there's not much to say. I love this. For all of the mattes, depending on what you like for the mattes, I think it's pretty easy to use. It's transfer proof as well, and it's not drying, so what more do you ask, right? And it doesn't feel drying. My lips is pretty dry actually. This one is not moisturizing it, but at least it's not making it worse. And the other than the purple one, which I think is 06, other than the purple one, all of the other ones applied pretty evenly, even this one. So I do like this formula as well. This is a new formula from them. I think they never had a matte lipstick, you know, in the traditional bullet lipstick form. They never had it. So yeah, I think this could be good. But one concern I have for this is for the longevity. I don't mean like the wear when you apply it on your lips. I mean like, will it dry out? Because it has film firmers. And one thing about film firmers is I think it will dry out. So I'm just concerned maybe for like a couple months this one, the formula is gonna shrink. Some formulations, when it has film firmer, give it like a couple months, it's just gonna shrink a lot and it becomes hard and you can't use it anymore. Because I had this many, I definitely don't want that to happen. If that ever happens, I'm gonna update you, of course. But for now, you never know. This only just came out, so nobody would know would that happen. Yeah, that's my whole review. Hope this is helpful. I think this is the first time ever for me to buy a whole collection. I never do that, but for some reason this collection, they just done it so well that I wanted everything, so I got everything. Hopefully this can give you some reference if you're considering this collection. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.